There are few things more difficult than putting something down after carrying it with you for a long time. Whether what we're carrying is grief, resentment, regret, or heartache, time has a quiet way of turning familiar things into permanent companions. The longer we carry something, the less we notice its weight. It simply becomes part of the way we move through the world. The struggle almost always begins with something that once meant everything: a hope, a promise, a belief about who we thought we would become. We are not only carrying those things, we're carrying the future we imagined alongside them. That is why letting go can feel so impossible. A traveler setting out in the morning rarely notices the weight of a full pack. The road is still fresh, his legs are strong. The excitement of the journey is enough to carry what doesn't yet feel heavy. It is only after miles traveled that every unnecessary item begins to make itself known. The pack didn't become heavier. The journey simply revealed what was always there. Life has a way of doing the same. Some disappointments quietly become a part of our identity. Some expectations remain long after the future that created them has disappeared. Some promises continue shaping our decisions years after they stop serving the life we're living. There was a time I thought the weight itself was the problem. If I could simply put it down, I imagined everything else would become easier. In hindsight, I don't think that was ever the difficult part. The difficult part was believing I still needed to carry it. But there comes a pivotal moment in our voyage where we must have the patience to ask whether every item in our bag still belongs. We aren't always carrying the past. Sometimes we are carrying an expectation, an apology we hope to hear, a future we believed would arrive. Although these things have no inherent weight, they can become some of the heaviest things we carry. I once believed letting go would mean leaving a part of myself behind. It sounded permanent, almost final. But life doesn't ask us to stop valuing what mattered. It simply asks whether we still need to carry it in the same way. There is a difference. Holding on and honoring are not the same thing. I once watched a river after a heavy rain. Branches, leaves, and pieces of driftwood all moved with the current. Some were caught against the rocks for a while, held there by nothing more than the force of the water. Eventually, the river rose just enough to carry them forward again. The river never fought to keep them. It never forgot they had been there. It simply continued. I've often thought people are less gentle with themselves. We sometimes believe that releasing something means we have failed to value it. But rivers never mistake movement for betrayal. Some things deserve to be remembered. That doesn't mean they need to be carried every day. We often imagine letting go as a single impactful decision. One last conversation, one final goodbye. More often, letting go happens so gradually that we only recognize it in retrospect. One day, a memory no longer ruins the afternoon. An old regret no longer shapes every decision. A name that once felt impossible to say becomes part of a story instead of an open wound. Nothing dramatic happened. The world did not suddenly become lighter. The weight simply stopped deciding where each step would fall. Looking back, these quiet moments changed me more than the dramatic ones ever did. Not because they erased the past, but because they slowly made room for the present again. There is a quiet difference between carrying something with you and allowing it to carry you. One keeps a memory alive. The other quietly begins deciding where you're willing to go. Without realizing it, we begin protecting yesterday at the expense of tomorrow. Not all at once, slowly, almost invisibly. We avoid the conversation. We postpone the opportunity. We hesitate to trust. We're still negotiating with a past that cannot become anything other than what it already is. Eventually, what we're protecting begins asking too much in return. The price keeps changing. Holding on asks for our attention, our energy, our openness. Everything we carry asks something of us. Some things are worth carrying for a lifetime. Others overstay their welcome long before we realize it. Knowing the difference may be one of the gentlest forms of wisdom we ever learn. Life has a quiet way of continuing. New people arrive, new opportunities appear, new roads reveal themselves only after we've begun walking. The invitation of opportunity has always been there. Sometimes our hands have simply been too full to accept it. That doesn't diminish what we've carried, it honors it. The people who loved us, the mistakes that humbled us, the dreams that gave us direction, the losses that taught us compassion. They become part of us, but they were never meant to keep us from becoming more. We rarely walk through life empty-handed. Every season places something in our hands. Some things are meant to be carried for miles, others only long enough to teach us something. Wisdom isn't found in carrying less. It's found in knowing when something has finished shaping the person we were becoming. Life does not ask us to choose between honoring the past and embracing what comes next. It asks something quieter, to know the difference between carrying something with gratitude and carrying it so tightly that there's no room left for anything else. There is no shame in what we've carried, only wisdom in recognizing when it's time to loosen our grip.